Y'all, it's your girl Ashanti Makita back on Down to Earth, better known as DTE. As usual, we have our drinks, and I have two lovely guests with me. I have my mother again for the second time, Teresa. You guys met her a little bit ago, and this is my father, Rob. Okay, and today we are going to have a conversation, which I thought was really important, especially coming from a couple who has been together 30 years. 30 years?
31.
31 years. So today's topic is nothing more than the obvious: how to keep a marriage long lasting, happy and long lasting. That's a very important thing, because I mean, there's marriages that are long lasting, but happy and long lasting. So we're going to start it off. I would like to know, and I think everybody else would like to know, like, besides the typical cliches of like communications, being faithful, blah blah blah, what are you guys' main three things that you believe keeps a marriage long lasting and happy?
Who go first?
It doesn't matter, whichever one of you want to go first.
Ladies first.
Aren't you the gentleman?
Aww.
Well, my three things is friendship, humor, and conflict.
Can you explain that? So let's start with the first one. Let's start with the friendship. When you say friendship, like, what do you mean by that? Like,
In order to have a good marriage, you have to be friends. So when you have a friend, you want to make sure that your friend is happy. You want to make sure you're not offending your friend. You want to make sure that your friendship is more valuable to you than anything else. So in a marriage, that's why I put friendship as one of my three things that keeps a marriage going.
and then I'm assuming humor is like obvious.
Humor
like,
is obvious. You gotta know how to have fun.
You gotta laugh.
You gotta know how to have fun with your partner.
Yeah.
You have to know how to have fun. You have to know how to laugh even in difficult situations. And if you married to me for 30 years, you're gonna have some humor.
Oh yeah, you will. And then your last thing, you said conflict. Explain that for me.
Conflict is something, in order to understand each other, you have to go through trials. You have to have disagreements in order to understand how to become one. And without conflict, I don't mean negative conflict. Conflict is a part of a relationship because you're not going to agree on everything. And once you realize that, you learn how to understand each other through conflict.
Okay, so it's like basically being able to overcome the conflicts. If you have hurdles and you guys can actively jump over that hurdle together, you like, hey, we did
Yes.
that. And I think
Yes.
and I think that right there to me seems major, because the divorce rate, at least over here in America, is ridiculous. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. A conflict come up and the first thing you run to is like, well, this is over, it's not gonna work. And then you look up, they're married 3, 4, 5 times. It's like somebody is not learning how to get past the issue to stay married. So, and then same thing for you.
And each conflict is like a building block to the foundation of
Yes.
the relationship. You know, that's one more block that you cross, that you laid down. That's one brick. You know, so it's a part of it. And the thing about conflict, though, it can, if you are not able to resolve conflict resolution is huge in any kind of relationship, but especially in marriage.
Especially in a marriage. Like,
Especially in marriage. You know, so conflict resolution, I think that was a very good one.
yeah, that sounds like
that you identified.
that's awesome to not run from that, but know that actually expected something to happen. So she gave her 3 things. And so for you, what are those 3 things?
I think for me, the things that make our marriage work really well, I think, is that one of the things that's important to me, and that is not getting in my way to be the man that I am. You know, allowing me the space to be the man rather than trying to beat me into being the man. So that artificial pressure, I don't need that, because I'm a responsible man. So I don't want to be hit with a whole bunch of demands that if you can't do this for me, then you're not the man I thought you were. I never heard that, and I would marriage.
And
I've
that-
been 30 years, I never heard
That is important for people that don't know. My parents got married. My mother was 19. You were 23. I was going to say 24. I was close. 19. So the reason why I said that's important is because for like younger people, like that is major. I think as women, even though we may not try to, and I actually, my husband has actually told me that's one thing that he like I don't try to pressure, but you can get caught into that because as a woman, you are strong, you have children, and you have these goals that you want. And I think that understanding how to get there is probably very, very important. You were going to get to this point, obviously. You have a house, you got the cars, you got the motorcycle, you have a successful career, but it wasn't like she was just like, so Rob, when is it going to happen? So when am I going to get the house? Are you going to buy the house? Are you working? It is like, I got enough pressure getting up every single day. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And so having a partner to say, I see the worth, I see you trying, so I'm going to back off and let you do that. And for my ladies that are watching this, don't be confused. There is a difference, okay? And not pressuring a man who's already a man. Do not use this as an excuse to wait around on a man who is not. What he meant by that, before the rest of you ladies jump on here and talking about you've been waiting for Maurice and Quashan. Look, that's not... Look, he was already a man. He was saying he was already responsible. He was going to do his job. He was going to take care of his wife and his children. If you are not already, you have to see that. She saw that, like, oh, he gonna be good. He gonna take care of Teresa. You gotta see that already and see that potential and know it. If there is no potential there, do not use this as an excuse to build a rocky foundation. I needed to say that because I heard you and I was like, I know someone watching this and sitting back like, I knew it. I just had to wait. No.
Tyrone's gonna get it together. It's been 20 years, buddy.
No, that's not. But that is important for women when you do see that potential. Just because you see it, don't pressure. Like let him work through that himself and just be his rock. Like class, be his rock.
It takes tact. Now, and it works the opposite way too. I try not to get in her way, in the way of her being the woman that she is. You know, I don't want to interfere with that. So you got to do it both ways. I watched her grow from a 17-year-old to a beautiful 40, some kind of number. I watched her grow into some kind of
number, right?
See, this is what makes a relationship work.
He caught it. He's like,
and when not to say certain things.
Right.
Partner. I'm gonna say from my point of view with you guys, just growing up in a household with two parents, which as amazing as that is, I think I searched until I finally found my husband. I spent a lot of my time trying to look for what the two of you all had, starting really young. And now that I look back on it, if I had any sense, I'd have been like, wait, you're only 17, you're only 16, relax. You don't have to be tied down. But what I saw and that I genuinely liked, and I try my best to do that within my own marriage, is I never saw my parents have disagreements. Not saying that they didn't have them. I'm not saying they didn't argue. I just didn't see them. Whatever it was, there was never slander amongst the two in front of me and my brother. Whatever they went through, and the only reason I said I think that's important for a child is because the reason I inspired to be married like you guys is because I saw a happy marriage. You know, not saying that you didn't have rough patches, but as a child, when you see, you know, something that's destructive and it's not actually a good thing, then you tend to think that's what a relationship is. You get older and you're like, oh, okay, I saw my parents arguing and fighting and hitting each other and kicking each other out every other week. And you really don't know. You guys really were the basis to what I wanted out of a relationship and out of a marriage. So that is really awesome as far as on that level. But I do want to ask you guys a really important question for everybody else. When you guys first got together, you just boyfriend, girlfriend, but can you tell people what made you know that you all were the one for each other? Because that's major. We marry the wrong people all the time. Like, how did you know, like, nope, this is the one, she need to have my babies, I need to have his children, and he's the one, and she's the one?
Really? I don't think you really know off the back if that person is the one, but your connection, when you're able to communicate with each other, when you're able to feel happy around that individual, when you are just, you can get along without any extra obstacles, and over that, and you learn to appreciate each other, then you realize I'm with my soulmate, because you don't understand off the bat. This is no fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Anita Baker did a song, No Fairy Tale Love, or whatever song went like that. But the thing about it is, I didn't instantly look at my husband at 17 and say, voila, I found him. What made me feel voila is down after spending time with him, realizing, and we connected on so many levels. We were able to laugh at the same thing. Our conversations was on the same level. Our goals for this relationship was similar.
Right.
You know, so over the time, I realized when I look at my previous relationships, they didn't have what I had with my husband. You know, either they, you know, I maybe made it look attractive, but they didn't have my goals. We couldn't have a conversation. And so when it was the
It's like
connection.
something-
The
something's
connection
missing.
wasn't there.
Okay.
So when I got with my husband, the connection was there.
Everything came like full circle. It was like we on the same page. You want this, I
Yeah.
want this, we got goals, this what you want, and it was like, and to top it off, we got a connection. So this is, and you never gotten that from anyone else.
No.
Was that pretty much the same for you, or?
For me, it just snuck up on me. I know, seriously, I was attracted to it right off the bat. We communicated well right off the bat, and it felt like this was somebody that I knew. I remember going to work the night that I met her, and remember how the time passed. All I did was think about it the whole time I was at work.
Oh, that's
the entire time, that whole day. But I still didn't think like, you know, this is gonna be my wife. I thought, well, I think I like her.
I think I really like this. I'm gonna make her my girlfriend. Like, she gonna be my girlfriend. And you looked up and you was like, wait, she my wife. Dang, now she the mother to my children.
13 years later.
And this is where we're at. I love it. I love it. I know these stories already, of course, but just really, really briefly, because I think it is really sweet. If you guys can explain how you guys first met, I think it's awesome.
This is gonna be a ghetto story right here.
But it's because, like, you know, for people who don't, you know, I was blessed to have two parents in my household. A lot of my friends don't, and a lot of my friends love you guys and stuff, and so it's like you just get through saying it's not fairy tale, and I just need them to understand, as sweet and beautiful as this look, like, you know, it didn't always start this way, and it's nice to have someone out there to see, you know, and be like, okay, so don't have to start off where all these things are, you know, like. I don't know. I think you all's story about how you guys met is like really awesome.
I was going into the grocery store to purchase me a Mr. Pure grape juice, that is. And it was over in the produce section. Then I saw this little chocolate man. Chocolate man had on some Levi jeans. He was fitting them Levi. Y'all remember that commercial? Had a Levi jean? Anyway. And I happened to glance, as I'm trying to get this Mr. Pure, he was in my peripheral vision. And I was like, I'm liking what I see. Meanwhile, it was a big ass wreck that broke up all that relationship. All that eye looking thing. Yeah, the red just walked. If y'all, we from the west side of Chicago.
I was about to say, tell them where you from.
Lundale community.
Lundale.
Yeah, so as we giving each other Google eyes, the red is like, how far y'all think y'all going with that with me right here? So the red kind of broke us up for about 5 minutes. So I ran to the counter to pay for my juice, and then something hit me. He's still over there in the produce section. So I waited around. I called a friend of mine on the payphone at the time, just waiting on him to come out the store. And 30 years later, here we go.
There you go.
So basically, we met at the local grocery store.
And kind of took a walk to the park right from the grocery store and sat on this bench in the park over on Douglas Park, and we go back to that bench every year and sit down on it and do the same thing we did when we decided that we would.
That was August 14th, 1987.
And I'm not joking. You can't make this up. I'm dead serious. When they say they go back and sit on the exact same bench, I went with them once. I don't even know why we went, but me and my brother went this one time with them, and there was someone sitting on the bench, and my dad was like, "No, excuse me, not trying to be rude, but it's me and my wife's anniversary. Like, we sit on this bench." They were really nice about it, but I was like, "Wait, it has to be this bench. Like, there's a bunch of benches in this park, but this bench is." And I'm telling you, like, to me, it sounds like she says it's not a fairy tale. For all of us listening and watching, it seemed like a fairy tale. Like, who goes back to the same bench? Like, why is it even still there? It's been 30 years. Like, why are you still even there? Most people, wherever you met, you're like, bro, it doesn't even exist anymore, but it's there. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, it may sound biased because they're my parents, but to be honest, like, they really, truly, I'm not saying they don't have issues, but they really, truly are in love. They really are this sweet, like, they are, my father sings, like, he has concerts, okay, and he has his speaker, and he's singing, "Let Bullseye Come On." Who is Bullseye? Is that Lakeside? "Let Bullseye Come On" by Lakeside. He gonna turn into, you would think they just met. All through high school, all my friends used to say, like, "Oh, so that's your mom, that's your stepdad," and I would be like, "No." "Oh, so is it your dad and your stepmom?" And I'm like, "No, that's both of my parents." And they were like, "Then why do they act like newlyweds?" I'm like, "They've always acted like that." I have no idea. Like, people genuinely thought I had step-parents just because their mind couldn't wrap around, like, there's no way in the world your parents at the time been together 20 years. And they, like, googly eyes. They don't go nowhere without each other. They drive every morning to get coffee together. If she takes a day off work, he takes a day off work. Hello. I cannot make this stuff up. They drive. When she doesn't work in the summer, my mom's a bus driver. When she doesn't work in the summer, she wakes up with him at 5 Sunday in the morning. They drive to get coffee for him to drop her back off, and then they're gonna stay on the phone. If you guys watched my last episode, my auntie Coco was on there. Me and her both agreed we have no idea what they could be talking about. From the moment they wake up, you went in a car together, you're on the phone the entire time on his way to work, and God forbid he don't call for lunch. It's like, "You're not gonna call me?" I'm like, what could you have? I don't even have that many things to talk about. I don't know if 30 years from now I could have so many things to talk about with my partner. Like, I cannot make this up. Like, this is genuinely them. Like, you look up and I'm like, okay, it is possible to be, despite what we see on TV, despite what we see in the real world and how people don't make it, like, this is, like, truly hashtag goal. Like, I'm serious, like, heart, like, hashtag goals.
You are truly obsessed. I didn't realize we spent that much time together.
See this? That's a fact. I just needed to prove my point that I'm not making this up. I swear I didn't make this segment just because they're my parents. Like, I was like, you know, you guys need to, like, share this chemistry on camera. You guys need to do that so people can see it, because I feel like for our generation, we're losing the whole, like, get married thing. And I don't blame people, because you look up and it's like, half either the parents are not together, or every marriage you see is failing, and you look up and you like, why go into a marriage and have babies and stuff to break up, you know?
And I think one of the tough things about marriage, at least in this country, is that it's too much touch and feel. Everything almost is left to a touch and feel thing. You got to learn it on the job. You know, I don't think we give enough attention to the early, because you grow up believing in fairy tale stuff, right? You grow up watching the princess kiss the sleepy,
whatever, kiss the frog, or
kiss the frog to whatever, you know, and you're expecting this knight in shining armor,
swoop you off your feet and whisk you away.
Exactly. And so that kind of gets penetrated into your mind as a child, and carries over into your subconscious as you get older. And so deep down,
you want that.
There's too much expectation out of somebody that's just a mere human being.
Instead of just focus on reality. And reality is, again, it's going to have conflict. You're going to have
moments where you're hurt.
Daily. You're going to have issues in your relationship where you have to learn how to resolve it, because nothing is peachy every day.
Exactly.
You're going to have your bumps in the road, but it all depends on how you all as a couple
handle those bumps, and it shouldn't be more bumps than smooth pavement.
Can you repeat that again? I need to say it a little louder. It shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be more. There should not be more bumps in the road than there is smooth pavement. And I think that was worked for us. We have our bumps in the road, but we have mostly smooth.
And then you have a bump, you get over it, and then you smooth. That is important. The reason I said that is important because, and I'm guilty of this, not in necessarily a relationship, but just in general, I'm guilty of. You know, we had a conversation with me, you, and Coco, and I was saying, you ever watch something you feel like it's speaking to your soul? And we had this habit of someone will watch this and it'll be like, okay, I just got to stick through the bumps. You know, that was important. If your relationship is going bump, 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 smooth, bump, 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 then you're still somehow, some way, something's not working, and maybe that is truly the definition of an unhealthy relationship, and that may not be your soulmate or something, because it should be able to go smooth, and then every now and then you have a bump instead of we could never get along at all. We never have smooth moments. That's not that time to be like, no, we're gonna keep going, and you know. So I think that is extremely important. Like you said, you guys have pretty much been smooth, and then with a few bumps instead of.
and really, you can have just one bump if your conflict resolution approach is not good. That one bump can be to tear down.
Yeah.
It's a combination of things. There's no 1, 2, 3 things that makes a marriage successful. But if I was going to just really highlight a couple things, it would be, respecting one another. Because when you respect one another, you can resolve conflict together. You have a better opportunity to resolve the conflict.
Because of the respect. Like, I'm respecting what you're saying, even if I don't know I'm doing it or feel that. Just the fact that I respect you, we should be able to resolve this. So there has to be respect. Because if you don't respect, then someone's going to be like,
I'm going to solve it.
Right, I don't care, lady. So you got to, I agree. I think that all of that in total, I really do appreciate you guys being here and my lovely parents, participating today, along with the things that they stated. Obviously, we didn't name the cliche stuff, but that all goes with it. So communication is always, you already know that. That's why we didn't talk about it. Being faithful. These are things, it's a given. Being faithful, taking care of your children, taking care of your wife, making sure the wife is doing her part in the household, the man is doing his part. Ladies, let the man be the man. Fellas, let the women be women. All of that goes along with it, but I love the fact that they said to resolve, have your conflict resolution, being able to be friends. You guys are friends, and then you're lovers, and then your wife and husband. All that goes with it. And please be nice to the people in the comments. As usual, these are all opinions, but obviously their opinion works because they've been married for 30 years. But opinions are like assholes, as I always say. And please remember that you guys are imperfectly perfect.
And subscribe.
Subscribe.